Hi girls and boys, it's Yaya. I have a story today. It's called It Could Always Be Worse. Never thought of that. And it's by Margot Zemak. And look, she got a Caldecott award for this story. Let's look at the picture. I see a house with, oh wow, a lot of people living in this house. Oh look, he doesn't have any clothes on. And up here, it's very crowded. I even see some animals. Let's look at the back cover. Oh, it looks like it's the back of the house. And it looks like it's nighttime. It's snowing and the moon is out. Wonder what it's going to be about. It could always be worse. All right. Once upon a time, in a small village, a poor unfortunate man lived with his mother, his wife, and his 6 children in a little one-room hut. Because they were so crowded, the man and his wife often argued. The children were noisy and they fought. In the winter, when the nights were long and the days were cold, life was especially hard. The hut was full of crying and quarreling. One day, when the poor unfortunate man couldn't stand it anymore, he ran to his rabbi for advice. "Holy Rabbi," he cried, "things are in a bad way with me and getting worse. We are so poor that my mother, my wife, my 6 children, and I all live in a small hut. We're too crowded and there's so much noise. Help me, Rabbi. I'll do whatever you say." The rabbi thought and he pulled on his beard, and at last he said, "Tell me, my poor man, do you have any animals? Perhaps a chicken or 2. "Oh, yes," said the man. "I do have a few chickens, also a rooster and a goose." "Ah, fine," said the rabbi. "Now go home and take the chickens, the rooster, and the goose into the hut to live with you." "Yes, indeed, Rabbi," said the man, though he was a bit surprised. The poor unfortunate man hurried home and took the chickens, the rooster, and the goose out of the shed and into his little hut. When some days or weeks had gone by, life in the hut was worse than before. Now, with the quarreling and the crying, there was honking and crowing and clucking. There were feathers in the soup. The hut stayed just as small, and the children were growing bigger. When the poor unfortunate man couldn't stand it any longer, he again ran to the rabbi for help. "Holy Rabbi," he cried, "see what a misfortune has befallen me now with the crying and the quarreling, with the honking and the clucking and the crowing. There are feathers in the soup. Rabbi, it couldn't get worse. Help me, please." The rabbi listened and thought. At last he said, "Tell me, do you happen to have a goat?" "Oh, yes, I do. I have an old goat, but he's not worth much." "Excellent," said the rabbi. "Now go home and take the old goat into your hut to live with you." "Ah, no, do you really mean it, Rabbi?" cried the man. Come now, good man, and do as I say at once," said the rabbi. The poor unfortunate man tramped back home with his head hanging down, and he took the old goat into his hut. I'm not quite sure what the rabbi's thinking, because the house is already crowded and he keeps adding more animals. We'll have to see. Oh my goodness. When some days or a week had gone by, life in the little hut was much worse. Now, with the crying, the quarreling, the clucking, the honking, and the crowing, the goat went wild, pushing and butting everyone with his horns. The hut seemed smaller, and the children grew bigger. When the poor unfortunate man couldn't stand it another minute, he again ran to the rabbi. "Holy he screamed. Now the goat is running wild. My life is a nightmare. The rabbi listened and he thought. At last he said, tell me, my poor man, is it possible that you have a cow? Young or old, it doesn't matter. Yes, Rabbi, it's true. I have a cow, said the poor man fearfully. Oh, go home then, said the rabbi, and take the cow into your hut. Oh, no, surely, Rabbi, cried the man. Do it at once, said the rabbi. I don't know what the rabbi's thinking. A cow in the hut with them? The poor, unfortunate man trudged home with a heavy, heavy heart. And he took the cow into the hut. Is the rabbi crazy? He thought. When some days or a week had gone by, life in the hut was very much worse than before. Everyone quarreled, even the chickens. The goat ran wild. The cow trampled everything. The poor man could hardly believe his misfortune. At last, when he could stand it no longer, he ran to the rabbi for help. I wonder what's going to happen. I think the rabbi's going to say, bring another animal into the hut? I don't know. Holy Rabbi, he shrieked, help me, save me, the end of the world has come. The cow is trampling everything. There's no room even to breathe. It's worse than a nightmare. The rabbi listened and he thought. At last he said, go home now, my poor unfortunate man, and let the animals out of your hut. Oh, I will. I'll do it right away, said the man. The poor, unfortunate man hurried home and let the cow, the goat, the chickens, the goose, and the rooster out of his little hut. That night, the poor man and all his family slept peacefully. There was no crowing, no clucking, no honking. There was plenty of room to breathe. The very next day, the poor man ran back to the rabbi. Everybody looks so peaceful here. All sleeping. Holy Rabbi, he cried, you have made life sweet for me. With just my family in the hut, it's so quiet, so roomy, so peaceful. What a pleasure. Well, he's happy again, isn't he? He had a problem. His house was really crowded, and the rabbi kept adding more and more animals. And then at the end, they took the animals away, and he realized his house was just the right size for him and his family. I'm feeling a little bit like this being stuck at home, and I know you guys probably are too. But this title, it could always be worse. At least we don't have a cow running around our house, right? And we don't have feathers in our soup. That's a good thing. So I guess it could always be worse, huh? Bye, boys and girls. We'll link this below. Have a good day. Bye.